Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Homelessness is nothing new in San Antonio. That's why city leaders are taking steps to prevent it. How a portion of the city's new budget passed just days ago aims to keep people in their homes.
It's something that's supposed to be routine, but for many, there's a real fear that comes with driving and being pulled over. What a local nonprofit is doing to make sure young drivers get home alive.
But first, we're going to start with weather, and the line of storms that you see here behind us is actually happening right now in North Texas.
Yeah, heading our way. I hope Adam Caskey's standing by. Adam, could this be making its way south down I-35?
Well, it is. Not all of that heavy rain, but we are expecting some new showers and storms to develop along the cold front as it arrives tomorrow morning and midday. Bottom line for rain tomorrow, our best shot, which is pretty good at 80%. So it's likely that we'll see rain tomorrow morning. That's the time frame. I'm thinking a little before sunrise in the hill country, shortly after sunrise San Antonio. Notice by 7 a.m. we're up to 60% chance. 9 a.m. 80%. Then we get past noon and our rain chances really fall off as that action starts to really push far south of San Antonio. Currently on the radar out west, we have a few showers and thunderstorms just outside of the KSAT 12 viewing area. There are some indications that one or two of these could make their way closer to San Antonio overnight tonight, but I think that's fairly unlikely. I'll be back in a little bit with your Futurecast to talk more about the timing of the rain and how much we could see. I also want to point out that, yes, a cold front is hitting tomorrow, but it's going to take time for the noticeable changes to set in. We'll talk about when the humidity drops and how much cooler it's going to get and when in just a bit.
Can't wait. Thank you, Adam. The city taking steps to prevent more people across San Antonio from going to homeless emergency shelters.
With its new $3.7 billion budget in effect, the night team's Avery Everett shows us how San Antonio and nonprofits are hoping that more money helps more people from losing their homes.
There's not realistic solutions for what people really need.
The need for solutions to help those without shelter is far from a new problem. But for the city of San Antonio, it's now a top priority.
Homelessness and specifically outreach and encampments came up as the number one area where the community was looking for change.
In the new budget that just took effect days ago, the city slotted an additional $200,000 in diversion funds to help those who might experience homelessness in the near future avoid entering an emergency shelter. They say that this is a step toward an ongoing solution.
That helps us prevent people from going into shelters.
The city now has a total of $400,000 in diversion funds. It can help with case management as well as utility and rental assistance. It's something nonprofits focused on support for those without shelter say could do a lot of good.
If they implement it well, would be wonderful.
But only if the city meets people where they're at.
If we want to stop wasting funds and we want to actually successfully get people housed, then we actually need to start with the people themselves.
The diversion funds make up a part of an increased budget to address homelessness, and part of that money is aimed at increasing the number of encampment cleanups. The city agrees only cleaning up can't be the only budget change.
Encampment abatement is not a solution to homelessness.
Seeing diversion as a chance for support.
So that was a big win for us that we're looking forward to see the results of that.
To help those who might soon face homelessness. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
In other news tonight, a man is facing charges in a deadly hit and run that happened last week on a Highway 35 access road in Von Ormy. So we want to show you Dimas Vela. Investigators say the 24-year-old hit and left a man in the middle of that access road, then ran into a guardrail later that night and left his vehicle at that second scene. That vehicle was impounded, and investigators say that car debris at that scene is what led them back to Vela.
Safety in our schools has always been on the minds of parents. This was the chaotic scene at East Central High School just 1 week ago, all in response to a threat made against the high school campus. That threat quickly deemed to be a hoax, but still the district superintendent says he's proud of the response and the lessons learned from that incident.
Overall, we did a great job. Our responding agencies were extraordinary. We didn't do everything perfectly. Moving forward, things will definitely be much improved.
I want to take this opportunity to remind you, if you see something, say something. It will save lives.
And Steve, that's a good point. It's actually another message the Northside Independent School District was sharing tonight as it held a community forum to talk to families about vaping and fentanyl. About 50 people packed a room at the Northside Activity Center on Culebra Road this evening. Parents and their kids listened as a DA agent and a rep from the U.S. Attorney's Office spoke about the dangers of fentanyl. That synthetic opioid kills about 5 Texans every single day. That's according to the state's health department. Now, we spoke with a mom whose son is a student at NISD, and she wants to know what to look out for because things are so different now from when she was a kid.
We didn't have phones. We couldn't do all that. I'm glad that my son still doesn't have a phone. I'm proud of it, but he can still use Google Chat in his Chromebook. So if there's a will, there's a way. They'll find a way to figure it out and how to get it.
Yeah, so she was referring to the fact that a lot of fentanyl products are actually sold on social media. Now, leaders at NISD are hoping that today's meeting inspired parents to get help from the district if they think their child is in trouble. And while we're talking about fentanyl, we want to remind you to check out our Fighting Fentanyl series. It's on KSAT.com. If you scan that QR code on your screen, it's going to take you to our collection of stories about real people here in San Antonio who have experienced tragedy at the hands of narcotics. We also dive deep into how you can help people who are battling opioid addiction, or you can get Narcan sent to your home for free.
Does self-storage always equal safe storage? These units have long been a place for people to keep their extra items in a spot they think is safe. But an uptick in thefts from those facilities here in San Antonio causing some concerns for customers. San Antonio police say the trend of crime in these places only growing. There have been more than 500 cases of burglary in storage facilities so far this year. Last year, there were more than 700. One victim of storage unit theft spoke to KSAT about the problem. He warns people, get insurance on the unit and don't store anything expensive.
And now let's go to your Nightbeat news flash. President Joe Biden canceling $9 billion in student loan debt just days after those payments resumed. We told you about that. The White House says the move is to fix what it's calling a broken student loan system. The Biden administration used existing debt relief programs to help about 125,000 borrowers. The White House says that it's canceled $127 billion of student debt for nearly 3.5 million borrowers. Now, Baltimore police say the 5 people that were shot on Morgan State University's campus last night were not the shooter's intended targets. 2 people opened fire at a homecoming event after an argument. All 5 of those victims that we just told you about were between 18 to 22 years old. All of them, by the way, expected to recover. But despite the massive response to the shooting, which you see right there, police have not yet arrested anybody as a result of it. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash.
He was a linebacker. He played football at Baylor and in the NFL. He's also no stranger to political upsets. Colin Allred beat a Republican incumbent to win his House seat. Now he has his sights set on U.S. Senate and Ted Cruz. In this Spreester Session snapshot, a conversation with Democratic Congressman Colin Allred. Congressman Colin Allred, thank you for joining us. Talk about why you made this decision to run for U.S. Senate.
Yeah, well, I feel strongly that we can't afford 6 more years of Ted Cruz. He's somebody who has pitted us against each other as Texans and as Americans, and who I think hasn't been doing the job. And I'm somebody who was a 4th-generation Texan. I was raised by a single mother in Dallas. I went to school in Waco. My family's from Brownsville. I think I know who we are as Texans. I think we can do better than Ted Cruz.
Do you think he's vulnerable? And if so, what issues do you think he's vulnerable on?
Yeah. Well, I think Texans are ready to move on from him. And I think they're ready to move on from his divisiveness. I think they're ready to move on from somebody who is podcasting 3 times a week and doing everything he can to get on cable news, but not actually doing the job of trying to pass legislation that helps Texans. And that's one of the biggest things. But it's also going to be a huge contrast in terms of personalities and approach. I'm one of the most bipartisan members of the Texas delegation, and really in Congress, I try and find that common ground that maybe comes from my football background, where I try and work with folks to find the things that we can agree on. I'm somebody who will bring together our state and our country.
You can watch the latest edition of Spreester Sessions right now on KSAT.com and the KSAT YouTube page. We also have our interview with San Antonio State Senator Roland Gutierrez there, one of Allred's Democratic opponents for the nomination. We'd like to sit down with Senator Ted Cruz as well, but he may wait on that interview until he knows exactly who his Democratic opponent is.
Now stick around. Parents of young drivers got a question. Do you know if your kids know what to do if police actually pull them over? Because how they handle that situation is critical. It's crucial. A local nonprofit is making sure that children know what to do so they get home safe.
And as we head to break, here are the winning numbers for the $1.2 billion Powerball jackpot tonight: 9, 35, 54, 63, 64, and 1. Good luck.
The fear of driving while young and black or brown. It's a unique fear that prompts parents to warn their kids from a very young age on how to interact with police.
The 9 Team's Patty Santos tells us an East Side nonprofit teaching 100 high school drivers how to make it home alive.
I still get stopped. I got stopped about a month ago, and the guy didn't know who I was, and he started talking down to me.
Retired Detective Troy Smith knows the fear that traffic stops can raise for the driver and officers.
The officer is going to tell you his job is to go home at night, and that's also your job.
That's why he's partnering with San Antonio Rising Stars to teach young drivers what their rights are and how to de-escalate a tense situation.
You got to cut your dome light on. You got to raise down all 4 windows. That's a sign of de-escalation right there.
Charles Sadie-White says the event at Chicken and Pickle next week will unite 100 kids from Brandeis High School and 20 San Antonio police officers.
When we put you in that situation and you're under that pressure and you're under that stress, then you start to understand how the other side feels.
Both point to the recent fatal shootings involving police as evidence that education is needed.
We're just teaching them the rules of engagement when it comes to dealing with officers.
Smith and Sadie-White have worked together on several community projects aimed at building young men, including bowling parties and forming a community basketball league. They say the league even gave some of the local youth a chance to go to New York City. For others, it opened job opportunities.
We want to be able to touch as many kids as possible and give them the opportunity to become the next mayor, the next father, the next role model in the community.
All their programs, they say, are aimed at empowering youth to make changes with a lasting impact.
This is generational. If we can make a difference in the young men at this stage of the game, how is it going to affect the next generation?
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Generational. All right, tonight, want to do a little bragging. Our own Patty Santos honored with a Community Basketball League trophy and jersey for her work in highlighting the positive changes happening on our city's east side.
Love that. She was praised for her community reporting. Mayor Ron Nuremberg got a similar trophy for supporting the nonprofit's mission. But Patty, congratulations.
She wore the jersey into the newsroom, showed off her trophy.
Love that.
Yeah.
We're not humble here at KSAT.
Patty's got game.
Celebrating. She does.
Live look outside right now.
87 degrees. But let's talk about that rain.
Yes, we've got some rain headed our way. And for some lucky folks, we'll have some pretty good accumulations. The changes, however, I want to focus on that. The changes behind the front will take some time. So yes, the cold front hits tomorrow, but you're not going to notice the changes immediately. First headline, of course, morning rain. Prepare for that at the bus stop and the drive into work. On the way home, you should be okay. It's looking dry. Humidity, that's going to be gone by Friday evening. Actually, I think right around or just before kickoff time for Friday night football. So if you're outdoors or if you're at one of the stadiums, get ready for that refreshing breeze Friday evening. Cooler temperatures arrive by the weekend. That's when we actually get below average. So we'll be in the 80s the next few days, as warm as 87 on Friday, which is close to average. But then this weekend, that's when we get the taste of fall. Afternoon, high temperatures, mid to upper 70s, and we can even dip into the upper 50s by Sunday morning. All right, let's talk about the cold front right now. It's off to the north of us. It's crossing over Interstate 20 in North Texas. Look at Abilene 69, Lubbock at 65, Amarillo 59, even cooler farther north up the plains. And of course, there's showers and storms along that front that are pushing southward. The front's going to arrive mid-morning. Ahead of that front, we'll have the showers and storms first in the hill country a little before sunrise. And it's likely to be a broken line, so there will be some misses or some locations where you just get a glancing blow of some brief rain. But as it moves in, it should intensify a little bit as it heads towards San Antonio, closer to sunrise, and especially thereafter. We're talking from 7 to 9 a.m. is when it should be moving into the north side of town, and then downtown shortly thereafter. Notice by the noon hour, most of the rain south of San Antonio. We get to 3 o'clock and it's pretty much wrapped up. It's far south of here. Up to 2 inches of rain possible in some areas. Localized amounts up to 2 inches. Most of us will get less than that. Keep that in mind. But there's that potential, so cross your fingers for your neighborhood, as we could have some of those downpours that follow each other, and if you get a few of those downpours in a row, you could easily get over an inch of rain. Here's another way to look at it. From 6 a.m. to noon, that's our primary time frame for the rain tomorrow, tapering off and really coming to an end afternoon. If you have evening plans tomorrow, it should be just fine. Just lingering clouds and maybe some damp ground and damp grass left over. Dew points, this is another thing I want to talk about. It's very humid out there right now, very sticky. Dewies are in the 70s for most of us. This is not going to change immediately with the front. It's going to take time. Like I was mentioning before, still humid tomorrow. Friday, still noticeable humidity, but by Friday evening, around sunset, kickoff for Friday Night Football, that's when the humidity is going to be swept away in this weekend. We could have dew points down in the 40s to near 50. So the humidity, that's gone by Friday night. Temperature-wise tomorrow, we start the day at 77. By noon, we're at 80 degrees, 83 for the high temperature in the afternoon. Friday, partly cloudy, 87. We get into the weekend. We've got those high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s with the lower humidity for the weekend and a mixture of sun and clouds. By the way, 59 degrees Sunday morning. That would be the coldest reading or the coolest reading since May 1st. So some of the coolest air since May 1st. And I want to point this out quickly. Today, 97 our high. That tied the record. It's been 119 consecutive days at or above 90, and guess what? That all changes tomorrow. We break that streak.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I had to point that out.
Yeah, 119 is enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're done with that. Okay, let's talk about cool things. The Rangers.
Yes, absolutely. The Rangers led by Josh Young. You know, he was 12 to 13 years old the last time the Rangers advanced in the postseason, and here he is, basically the head of the snake for that Rangers offense. The Rangers are moving on, and in high school volleyball, Southwest Dragons, man, those young ladies are on fire and in first place. Coming up. Texas Rangers beat the Tampa Bay Rays in Game 2 today to win their first postseason series since 2011 when they reached the World Series. Top of the fourth inning, no score until Adolis Garcia hits a solo shot to left field, 416 feet, and the Rangers lead 1-0. Later in the frame, runner on second base from San Antonio's very own Josh Young hits one to right field. Josh Lowe charging, and he dives, but he can't make the catch. That scores a run to make it 2-0 Texas. Young races around second, slides in the third for an RBI triple. Young went 3 for 4 today. Now, a little bit later, fellow rookie Evan Carter busts out his home run bat in the top of the fourth, a 2-run job to center field, and it's 4-0 Texas. The Rangers win 7-1 to sweep the Rays 2-0. Here's Young talking about Evan Carter.
We joke around and say he's our little savior, so it's pretty cool when he gets a hit or whatever, and he like prayer hands. It's pretty cool, but I mean the impact he's had has been incredible. He's had a quality at bat. I feel like every at bat. Knows the strike zone really well, and it just his at bat alone is pushing the pitcher's pitch count up. And when you have a good pitcher out there on the mound, that's what drives them out of the game eventually, or end up making mistakes in late innings, and you saw that today.
Now, the celebration won't last long because the Rangers will next face the Baltimore Orioles in the ALDS starting on Sunday. And more scores, the Twins shut out the Blue Jays 2-0 to sweep in advance for the first time in 21 years. They'll face the Astros in the ALDS. The Diamondbacks beat the Brewers 5-2 to win that series 2-0. They'll play the Dodgers in the next round, and the Phillies beat the Marlins 7-1 to sweep and will battle the Braves in the NLDS. The John Jay Mustangs are off to their best start since 2003, and they show no signs of slowing down. The Mustangs are 6-0 overall, 4-0 in District 29 6A. They're tied with Harlan for first place. Jay has won 5 of its 6 games by double digits, and last week they handed Sotomayor its first loss this season. Jay football's like one big family, and they're representing Marbach Road in a big way.
It's special, most of us have been together since we were little, we grew up with that brotherhood, that family, so we know a lot about each other, and, we all have each other's back, and it's special being out here, and doesn't even feel like practice, it just feels like time with your brothers, hardworking, we get competitive sometimes, and it's fun.
It's been great, it's amazing, compete with my family and my brothers, and on and off the field, in the class too, and just keeping pushing and keeping going.
Coach Gutierrez and his Mustangs will play the Holmes Huskies tomorrow night at 7 at the Gus. Turning to high school volleyball, the Southwest Dragons are on fire, and they're looking to stay that way. The Dragons swept Eagle Pass win last night 3-0, improving to 30-4 on the season and a perfect 8-0 in District 28 5A. The Dragons are 1 game ahead of Harlandale and their 7-1 district mark. Now, we stopped by Southwest this morning to talk with the Dragons. The ladies are chasing their first district title since 2009, and they feel they have the team to do it.
Besides our record proving it, I think that this is really our best year yet. The chemistry on and off the court is really good. There's not really separate cliques. We all get along, and, we have all grade levels on our team. And especially as a senior, I think we all try and make everybody feel special.
So I think it's a really a positive environment. Everyone wants to be here. We're all excited to play all the time. We show up to a game and we feel ready. We're on the bench. We're cheering for our teammates. No matter what, even if we get down, we find a way to come back always. And so I think that is what's helping us win and stuff.
We have great team chemistry, and I feel like even though our talent is there as well, our teamwork helps us so much. Everyone just clicks together, and I feel like that helps us so much on the court. Just finish the game.
Head coach Catherine Cortez is in her 6th year with the Dragons, her 5th as head coach, and she has her team playing well. The Dragons will host Medina Valley in district play Friday night at 6. Wemby is learning the Spurs way after the break.
They had no idea what they had really purchased.
Everything was in a state of dilapidation.
We did not know what this building was. We thought it was a dance hall.
Well, the history of this Wilson County fixer-upper was a bit more complicated.
If you read that marker, you would have no clue that this was a slave plantation.
And this was this house. So yeah, I got some news for her.
The uncomfortable truths and mysteries of this local mansion are streaming now on these platforms.
Spurs training camp day 2 is in the books, and all the rookies are trying their best to learn the Spurs way ahead of the regular season opener in 3 weeks. #1 overall draft pick Victor Wembanyama probably feels like his head is spinning just a bit at times.
So everything is coming very, very fast. I'm saying what's coming fast is all the information, the new set plays, the principles. There's a lot of stuff that I've never seen before, and that I don't know. And it's hard, but you got to be focused when you're on the court, because you lose attention 1 second, you're screwed for the next 15 minutes.
The Spurs preseason tips off Monday night at 7 at the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm even ready to see him in preseason.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes. Come on.
Exactly.
It's been such a long time.
Sure has.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back.
So remember, rain first part of the day tomorrow morning, bus stop, drive to work, but on the way home you should be okay. Then the cooler air settles in by the weekend. Low humidity Friday evening. This weekend, low humidity and highs down in the mid to upper 70s. So that's when the real changes will be noticed. Little taste of fall headed our way.
That's going to feel so nice.
Love it.
Let's savor it while we have it. Thank you so much for joining us. Have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you then.